Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to be finishing up this 2008 Cayman S, so stay tuned, and I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Everything lines up really good. All the gaps look good, so we're ready to start welding this thing up. We're going to start by getting the hinges welded up, and then we'll get the cover that sits over the A-pillar or hinge pillar set on the car and weld it to the car, and then we'll move on to the quarter panel. Alright, so we've got everything welded on the car. So now we're going to take our thick cutoff wheel and our 90-degree angle grinder with some 36 grit, and we're going to start cleaning up all the welds. All the welds are cleaned up, so now we're going to strip the rock guard off the bottom of the rocker panel, and then we're going to start wiping some filler on all the seams and on the front part of the rocker.
We've got all the filler work done on the lower rocker here. We've also got it taped up so that we can get this thing seam sealed and undercoated. Let's get the undercoating sprayed on this thing.
All right, so we've got the undercoating sprayed on there. So now let's get this thing masked up so we can get some primer on it. The primer's been drying overnight, so now we can start sanding on the primered spots with some 180 grit paper on a block.
All right, so we got all the major blocking done. We're gonna get this thing off of the frame machine and finish up prepping this thing, getting it ready for paint. All right, so we got most of our hand sanding done. Now, what are we gonna be doing now?
We're going to DA the outer panels.
Okay. All right, so the car's in the booth. What are we doing next?
I'm going to sand and tape up this mirror, sand the door, set up on a flip stand, put them in the booth, and we're ready to go.
So the Porsche's in the booth, it's all taped up, masked up, and ready to go. We're going to be spraying some rock guard on the car, and we're going to be using this Sims. This is a satin black chip guard, and it's going to take about 3, probably 4 coats of this to get the desired texture and thickness that we need. I'm going to pull some fine line and make my straight line across the bottom of the rocker, then I'll tape it up, and then we'll start spraying this on. Alright, so we ended up putting 4 coats of this on the rocker, and it gave us the texture that we need and the film thickness that we needed to make it look factory. And we've given it about an hour to flash off or dry a little bit. So now we can start untaping it. So I'm going to untape it, pull the fine line, make sure my line is crisp, and then we need to give it a couple to 3 more hours, because I think it says 2 to 4 hours before we can top coat. And once we wait that time, we can go ahead and start wiping everything down and start painting this thing. Alright, so now that the Porsche's been wiped down with wax and grease remover, let's go ahead and get some gloves on, get our paint suit on, and a respirator. Alright, so now that we have our safety equipment on, we can go ahead and start painting. But before we start spraying, let's go ahead and blow the car off. We'll tack it off with a surgical blue tack rag, and then we'll spray on 1 coat of dark gray sealer. We've given the dark gray sealer a 15-minute flash time, so now I'm ready to start spraying on some color. Now on this car we're going to be spraying on a black single stage, which single stage means that there's clear coat integrated with the color, so there's no need to put a clear coat over the color. It's going to dry shiny and look like you want it to look when it dries. So I apply 2 coats of single stage and I spray both coats on like I want them to look. Let me show you how I do it. Alright, so we got our last coat of single stage sprayed on there. It looks really good. Let's go check it out. Didn't I tell you? This thing turned out great. So we're going to let this stuff dry overnight. We'll come back in the morning, and you know the deal. We'll start putting this thing back together.
We got the Cayman put together. Let's get this thing outside and get it cleaned up so we can get it loaded on the trailer and get it delivered. The Cayman's all cleaned up and loaded up on the trailer. Let's get this thing delivered back to Road Atlanta.
Few women admit their age, even fewer men act theirs.
Alright, so that's going to be about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, and this is the first time you're ever seeing me, consider subscribing and clicking on the bell icon. That way you won't miss any future content. If you have any thoughts or questions about this video or any of my videos, you can leave it in the comment section down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya!